We got to pull out a sword today and also learn about spooky moms,
And giant dads.
giant dads getting wrapped up in the Hammerhammers. Just all sorts of stuff happening this week.
Eye damage.
Eye damage.
Landing on a throne of skulls. All kinds of fun stuff. Kagome. Well, I won't spoil it.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
if they're listening to this, they probably watched the episode.
It's true, but it's funnier when we get to it.
It's true. Hello. Welcome to this week's episode of Jared and I Watch Inuyasha. This is episode number 6. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Allen, Ladium.
Hello.
We were watching season 1, episode number 6, called Tetsusaiga the Phantom Sword. Ooh.
Time to get a sword.
Cool.
Neat.
We begin this week's episode by picking up where last week's episode left off, where Kakomi's like, I can't move. And Inuyasha's mom doesn't have a face.
Mm-hmm.
So we get some little kid Inuyasha backstory.
He's so cute.
He's like, I'm going to go run to my ma'am.
Also, I asked you when we were watching this, I was like, did his clothes just grow with him? Because he's literally wearing the exact same outfit.
They just didn't want to get him more clothes.
I'm just imagining the clothes just as he grows up. They're like, well, he grew a couple 3 inches. Like, let's just expand the pants. They're just magical.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Magical pants.
I want magical pants.
It's really what we all want. She does this because she takes out a flower from wherever and throws it into the water, and it's like, boo! And it changes into an illusion of what the past was. She'd been doing a lot of pulls in Mr. Love, so she had a lot of flowers that she could throw around. She spent her flowers on looking into the past.
Nice.
So yeah,
Reference that like no one's gonna get.
I mean, that's their fault.
It's true. They should be playing Mr. Love.
It's true. So we see that, and then she's like, let me embrace you as well, right into my Hammerhammers, and then let me just jab my hands into your back, and oh, now I have control of you. And then the illusion of where they're at kind of like starts to dissipate, and they're just like in this grody swamp. And Jockin's like, hey, hello, hey, don't grab his soul quite yet. We need to figure out where the tomb is, you dummy. So we get this like thing of Inuyasha getting like pushed deeper into water as she's like, oh, tell me where your father's grave is. And he's just like, oh, you want to talk about this black pearl I see? And she's like, what?
He says something about the right.
Like, what? And Jockin's like, what? Keep looking. And then the fake mom's like, well, if we do that, well, his soul will kind of just like break apart. That's bad. Jockin's like, I don't really care. We need the information. Do the thing.
I like that they call her the unmother.
Unmother with her are out.
Straight up out, and just like has Inuyasha's face planted in him.
Like, I mean, they're melted in. He's kind of like sucked into them.
Yeah, he kind of gets
But like
sucked into the boobies.
he's just right in there, and those things are out.
Yeah, which like, you know, that's a mom complex right there.
That sure is a choice to put in there.
Yeah, like whoa.
Kagome gets woken up because Miyoga's like, hey, I want to suck your blood and then wake you up so you can get moving. Kagome finds Jockin and flings him into the water, takes the staff, and then goes after the fake mom. And then she's like, no, I'm going to suck Inuyasha into my body more. And he's like, oh.
Yeah, it's only his arms left.
I've fallen into the Miyoga explains like what the fake mom is, how she's like, oh, she feeds on the souls of lost kids. And then they look into the water and like, oh, here's Inuyasha as a kid. That somehow, she splashes the water and that somehow breaks the thing and Inuyasha gets released.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, and it's Sesshomaru's like, hey, what's up? I know where the tomb is now. Hey.
Inuyasha's like, what?
What do you mean? I'm going to fight you. And then he just gets his butt kicked.
Mm-hmm.
Sesshomaru's like, let me just get my little fingies and just jam them right into your eye and take out this cool black pearl.
Yeah, he does like a little magical thing and pulls it out. And then Inuyasha is missing his pupil for a little bit.
5
not
minutes.
very long, but The little black pearl.
He tries to attack again, and then Sesshomaru's like, "Bleh, get out of the way." And Sesshomaru's gonna
Murder him.
he's gonna just beat the crap out of him and moy to him. And then the fake mom comes in and blocks the attack.
And
Miko's
explodes.
like, "Oh yes, the heart of a mother had to protect Inuyasha there, because that's what happens."
I love that Inuyasha's just sitting on the ground, and like when she just like goes pop like a balloon, like some of her clothes falls on his shoulder, and he's just like, huh. Okay.
Sesshomaru was like, "Jockin, go get the staff. We need to figure out where the tomb is." And then Kagome's like, "Hey, wait a minute. Why don't I have the staff anymore?" He pokes the pearl, and then one of the old man head laughs, and it opens up a portal. And they're like, "Well, see you later. We're going to go get our cool thing." And Inuyasha's like, "Oh no, what do I have to do? I don't want to have to go to the portal. I really don't want to have to go. Ugh, Kagome, stay here." And Kagome's
like,
like,
"Do you need an invitation?"
Like, come on, we gotta go. And he's like, "Huh? What? We gotta go."
And the whole time that they're like traveling through this portal, like Inuyasha's behind her, is like, he probably can see straight up her skirt right now.
I mean, he's probably seen more of her than that.
That's true. I'm just like, whoa.
So they go into the portal where Inuyasha's dad's gravesite is, and it's very big. They land on a big old skeleton bird that just flies them to the grave.
Inside his big old mouth.
And they're like, "Whoa, this thing's big." Sesshomaru and Jockin are there first. They find the sword, and they're like, "Well, we should try and pull this thing out." And Sesshomaru tries to
dad's fang.
Yeah, they try to pull it out, and he's not able to because like it burns his hand. And he's like, "Well, that sucks. We came here and we can't get it out." And then Inuyasha and the crew show up. They're like, "Hey, what are you doing in here?" And Mayo was like, "Hey, go get the sword. That should be yours, Inuyasha. Totally. Yep, that's 100% what's supposed to happen, right? Yep. I gotta go." And then Inuyasha's like, "Oh, I don't know about this, but I guess I should try taking the sword." Except he's like, "Man, this sword looks like garbage. Like, who would want this crappy sword? It looks like trash."
I like that he says it couldn't even cut paper wet paper.
Yep. So he tries to pull it out, and then he's able to kind of pull it out, and like the barrier doesn't affect him or anything. And Sesshomaru's like, "Well, that's not good."
I love that the funny part about this is that he's just like, for lack of a better word, about it, and Kagome's like, "Dude, pull it out. Come on."
Stop being a wuss about it. Pull it out.
It's hilarious. And basically, like, her argument is pull the sword because it will hurt his ego.
Yes.
And I was like, she's just going straight for the emotions there. And it's like, yeah, I'm fine with that. I would like to hurt his ego. Let me get this sword. But yeah, he can't get it.
He's able to kind of move it, but he's not able to pull it out.
Yeah.
So then Sesshomaru and Inuyasha fight again. Kagome goes to beat up Jockin, just because.
Why
not? So Sesshomaru and Inuyasha are fighting again. They're about to punch each other, hit each other. Jockin, like, hits Kagome.
He like bonks her,
and she falls back and grabs the sword as like just to steady herself. And then like she's trying to like move forward to like be like, "No, don't kill Inuyasha." And she just like kind of just like falls forward and is like, oh, I pulled the sword out. My bad.
Scotland now.
My bad, guys. I'm sorry about that.
Ooh, I don't think that's what was supposed to happen.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Yikes.
And that's how the episode ends.
I think this is also the first introduction of the poison claws. And the sound effect that when he uses it basically sounds like a fart. So it's just like, it's really sad. Which, I mean, maybe that's why they're poison claws. Maybe his claws are just farts.
I mean, if you farted in your hand and put it in someone's face, that would be poison damage. Same way if you spit in your hand and slap someone, poison damage.
What damage?
Poison damage.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Well, And it seems like a very brotherly thing to do, to fart on your hand, shove it in your brother's face.
Yep.
It really does.
Brother's gonna brother.
I'm pretty sure my brother's done that to me before as a kid.
Oh my god, why?
Because little boys are weird.
Because he's your brother.
My brother.
There you go.
But yeah, I just love that Kagome's like, oh.
My bad, guys. Sorry, I know that was supposed to be your
Should I
guys' thing.
put this back?
What am I supposed to do with this? Can someone else take this sword, please? Let's talk about some notes and Dia Francis from the manga.
Okay.
The portal everyone goes through to get to Toga's grave has the same graphics as the Bone Eater as well, because they're like, oh, we don't want to make another transition, probably.
I mean, that's valid. It's probably expensive.
It's true. There are 2 animation errors. How dare they?
Oh, no.
When Kagome first sees the reflection of the Unmother holding the young Inuyasha, her kimono is closed, but when Kagome splashes the water, the Unmother's chest is exposed, which, yep.
Yeah, they're straight up out.
The second is when Kagome is about to splash the water, most of Inuyasha's body is still outside of the Unmother, even though only his arm has not been absorbed. Also, they do the whole thing where like when his eye the pearl gets pulled off his eye like loses part of its luster essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then like once they get to like the gravesite, it's just they're like, we're not drawing that normally anymore. We're just gonna draw it normally.
Yeah, like he didn't have a pupil for a while, and his eye was kind of like matte.
And then
yellow.
It was like, all right, we're just gonna keep drawing this normally because that seems like that would be a lot of work to have to not do that.
Yeah.
Which, understandable.
Understandable.
The scenes of the villagers searching for Kagome and the conversation of Kagome's mom and Sota have about Kagome is exclusive to the anime. This is the bike fixing scene that we talked about last week, very briefly.
Yeah. Her mom's like, oh, I gotta lower the seat for her because she took her bike, and I want her to have a bike when she comes home.
And Sota's like, why are you working on this bike in the middle of the night?
In the middle of the night.
What are you doing?
He's an elementary school kid who pees the bed.
It's rude. Don't expose your child like that.
She did. She exposed him.
It's real mean.
And he's like, Mom, we're lucky to have you.
When Inuyasha first peers into the water and sees his younger self, the anime extends the scene to include Inuyasha and his mother together. The anime also omits Inuyasha realizing albeit too late, that his mother doesn't have a face and attempting to escape from her. Instead, Inuyasha realizes it's not his mother while she's peering into his heart, but is unable to resist.
Because he's straight up in the boobies.
It's true. In the manga, Myoga tells Kagome about the Unmother while she is still holding Inuyasha's hair to prevent him from being absorbed. In the anime, Kagome lets go of Inuyasha's hair because she trips, and then Myoga tells her about the Unmother.
That just makes her seem very incompetent.
I mean, this anime really kind of does a good job of that.
That's true.
In the manga, in order to extract the pearl, Sesshomaru gouged out Inuyasha's eye, which slowly recovered over the next few chapters. In anime, this was modified, and Sesshomaru used a stream of energy to extract the pearl, without damaging the eye itself, though the pupil did temporarily disappear.
That seems intense.
It does. It's yanking out your eye.
Yikes. I love that his eye just came back.
It's like, my eye just grew back.
Casually.
I mean, he has that recouping healing stuff, so.
Yeah, but you wouldn't think that would grow a new eye.
You never know. Sesshomaru doesn't use his whip in the manga. Instead, he attacked Inuyasha and the Unmother with his bare hands. He then steps on her head to kill her.
Whoa.
Sesshomaru threatens to kill Jaken if he loses the Staff of Two Heads again in the manga.
How rude.
And that's that. So
what are we going to do with this sword now?
That's a great question. We'll find that out next time when we discuss season 1, episode number 7 called Showdown, Inuyasha versus Sesshomaru, where Sesshomaru is going to become a big old doggo.
Oh, there's 2 exclamation points in this title.
There are. That's how
nice.
You got to get hyped for this episode, clearly.
I am very hype.
So there you go. That's what we will talk about next time. But for now, that's going to wrap this episode up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'd like more from us, go to seasonalanimecheckup.com or sac.cool is where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Seasonal Anime Checkup, Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you want more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/animecheckup. You can buy our books, One Shining Moment, A Critical Analysis of Love Live Sunshine and Hot Tubs and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And that's that. So join us next time, and we'll have a big old showdown at the OK Feudal Corral.
Okay, Dad. Funeral corral.
Yep,
Funeral. I mean grave.
same difference.
Yes.